that one standard race, one of the weekly races, where you had to get the flute out of Ganon's tower to get the Cane Samaria for the right side big key.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. But we are getting our race started. Just a piece of heart in the Link's house, so nothing of value yet. And it looks like, ooh, we actually do have a bit of a divergence here. One going to Uncle Cave and the other going south of the Grove to maybe try some bomb pulls or bomb pickups here.
Yeah, try to get the 50-50 chance on the bushes, and whoa, look at that. Swerb ends up, and SuperNinTaylor gets the bombs, and no bombs for Swerb. Oh, nice tree pull.
Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, that's a very, very good tree pull. Just, ooh, 8 bombs in the first one. That's amazing.
That's a good tree pull right there, tier 1. Oh, hammer from the uncle. Uh-oh.
This could be a immediate escape play, since he actually does have a weapon now. That'd be a good chance to get this out of the way while he's here.
And let's go ahead and get 20 bucks while we're at it, and let's go ahead and see what's at the race game as well. But yeah, I see the SuperNinTaylor has enough of a reason to actually go into Hyrule Castle at this point while you're in this area, and oh, he's gonna get some more bombs, although why are you grabbing more bombs? You already capped yourself out.
Maybe just trying to, like, wow, did I actually see that correctly? Did I actually get 8 bombs from the tree pull? Like, maybe one of those I had to see it again to believe it sort of scenarios.
Well, the next pull he's going to do is going to be on the second tier with the 4 hits with getting a hit itself. Swerve's heading for the doorless hut down here in the bottom left, and that's because he's going to go farm up some bombs.
Yeah, this is a nice free way to get some bombs. If you're in Kakariko and you happen to have like 1 or 2 bombs laying around, you can get 4 every time you enter, and you can just keep leaving and re-entering it until you're fully stocked.
Well, there's the first of the maps in Hyrule Castle. Map in a vanilla chest. Is this even randomized?
No, I guess not. No, must not be.
Well, if we get the boomerang in the next chest, then we'll know it's not randomized.
Yeah. Although, I guess to be fair, we do have a hammer instead of a sword, so maybe it's not completely. Maybe it is randomized a little bit.
Sprite shuffle. There's a sword in the chicken coop.
Yeah, it's got a sword there. The hammer was in the Uncle Cave, FM Arthur.
Go to the back of the tavern. Let's see what we're going to have there. SuperNinTaylor's going to be going up against the guard. 50 rupees, so we are halfway there to being able to make that 100 rupee purchase.
Yes, and with the couple of caves and the item locations he has left, he can very easily make the remainder of that difference, no problem.
SuperNinTaylor's not going to be worried about rupees for that 300 rupee pickup.
Oh no, definitely not. In fact, going straight to Sanctuary and then making the more traditional route around to Kakariko, at least for older versions of the randomizer anyway. You can check Lumberjack Tree, the Lost Woods, and then go south into Kakariko.
Bow pickup in the well.
Yeah, we got a bow in the well. That's good. That's potential Eastern play.
Haven't seen a map check just yet, so the next question is oh, Power Glove. Wow. And there was the map check, but good luck looking at it. Okay, there we go. I see Crystal at Eastern. I see a Crystal at Hera. Did you see what's that desert?
I did not, but I did see that the crystal at Hera was the one of the 5 and 6 crystals. Crystal number 6, to be specific.
And Lumberjack Tree. Oh, that's narrow upgrade. No Aga for that.
And Chad is saying that we also got a crystal at Desert Palace as well. Just a normal crystal, though.
1, 4, and 6. So what does the Dark Road have in store? We'll wait for a little bit to find out what's going on there. We get to the back of Blind's hut and more arrows. Why not? And hey, we change of clothes.
All right, blue mail.
One of the nice finds to have at this point in the race.
Yeah, you never really know how the seed is going to be to you in terms of hearts and heart pieces, so having that early defense would be good protection against some of the more dangerous enemies like the crabs on the southern shore.
And Swerve will be getting a change of clothes soon too, and SuperNinTaylor is going to be heading over towards the village. So we're going to be seeing the same things over and over on both screens. So just a reminder, both of these runners are 2 and 3. A win gets them into the race-off coming up on Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern.
As I said earlier, they're going to be fighting really, really hard for that position too. So this is, I think, going to be a very entertaining race.
That race off, the top 6 are the ones who will move on to the group stage of the tournament, which is coming up. And that 3 and 3 race is going to have some pretty big names.
Yeah, from what I remember, max of... I don't know if it's going to be this exact number, because obviously everyone would have to be there, but 32 people vying for those 6 spots, and like you said, a lot of great competitors in there, so that's going to be one really, really, really big race.
Swerb heading over towards the back 3 of Escape. I like this play.
I do too. It's always good to kind of get this out of the way. You can also see if you'll be okay for the, if you can skip the last chest in here, the one that's in the dark room. So, going to be paying special attention. Unfortunately, they dig the key right here, so there is potentially something in that dark room chest.
Yeah, and Swerb is going to go and go through the dark room to get to it. Now, this will be a sequence break.
Yes, it will be a sequence break, and it can be a bit difficult too. Has to locate one rat for a key. Locates it very quickly though, so the rest of it shouldn't be too bad. Just has to locate the chest in the room once he gets to it.
Yeah, the big thing is that the rat's always going to be towards the bottom left corner when it spawns. Whether or not it stays in that corner is the big problem.
Yes, exactly.
And here's the other thing is, are we going to even see what the item is? Because we've seen races where you can't see what the item is.
That's true. We'll have to see. Oh, just.
But it's a 5 rupees. We get to see the item.
Yeah, it's usually like you can see like rupees, and it's weird. You can see the compass, but I don't think you can see the map in dark rooms. It's really weird with the selections.
Time to head on over towards the Eastern Palace area, and wouldn't it be really nice if this game gave them a lamp right now?
That would be really nice. If they got that lamp, then Eastern could be done right there. If Swerb does know his dark rooms, which he might, could see try to attempt at finishing it as well, since really the only item you need to actually beat the dungeon is the bow, but in terms of logic, yeah, that lamp will be required as well. But some players can do dark rooms.
Whoops. Swerve trying to pick up the pot, ends up picking the bomb up himself and blowing himself in the face. And SuperNinTaylor also bombing himself in the face as well. And considering the fact that Swerve ended up doing the dark room here in Hyrule Castle, it wouldn't surprise me if he ended up going around towards Eastern and completing this dungeon right now.
Yeah, that wouldn't really surprise me as well. Thankfully, there aren't very many dark rooms in here. Just the relatively simple dark room to get to the big key chest, and then that one room where you have to kind of make it through and kill the Igor. So they're pretty standard dark rooms. If you know the layout well enough and where the enemy placements are, you can figure it out relatively easy.
By the way, I want to point out that SuperNinTaylor is currently 1 item away from Dark World access, and that is the Moon Pearl.
Ooh, that's great. At that point, yeah, getting that Moon Pearl will be really nice. What Taylor does not want to see, at least in terms of Dark World access, does not want to see the lamp and the cape, because that could point Taylor over to Aghanim's tower.
SuperNinTaylor finishing off the dark room, now heading on over. Gets the first of the map checks, and there's the confirmation once again about the crystals that we had earlier. And he will be making the same path as Swerb is, here over to Eastern Palace. So a piece of heart, the first of the 3 items in Eastern.
Swerb does not pick up a lantern in this chest, or the big key as well, we'll know for a fact that the lamp is not going to be in here. So that's one item we could potentially cross off in just this minute when he gets to that chest.
Well, here's the possibility for item number 2 right here. And it's the compass.
Okay, so no lamp in here.
We've got the big key chest still. They already got the big
Oh,
key.
they already got the big key, okay.
So the question is, what is in here? 50 rupees.
Just 50 bucks.
So the remainder of this dungeon is going to be a sequence break.
It's actually very interesting to note that neither of our runners made the play straight for Eastern Palace. We haven't even seen the vast number of items that are on the southern shore and the ice cave and everything.
Ooh,
so.
Sword upgrade.
Ooh, sword upgrade.
That, by the way, is the 3rd and final item in here, but Swerb is wanting to finish this dungeon off. So Slim, guess what? They're now 1 item away from dealing with Ganon.
Yeah, 1 item away from Ganon, 1 item away from Dark World access. They're really going to be hoping for that Moon Pearl and not the lamp, I bet.
That is a very, very nice pick up the key, but Swerb having some issues getting on out of here. Down to 2 hearts. 2 hits from the Igor would knock him dead. Well, actually, no. He's got the blue mail. Never mind. But this, in my opinion, is the worst dark room in Eastern.
Oh, it is for sure. Dealing with the Igor, I don't think it's too bad. I find the layout really strange right here in order to get through this pot to get to the door. I don't know, for some reason it's just not like angled the way you think it would be, and it just always kind of messes me up whenever I'm trying this dark room.
It looks like Swerb is wanting to go for a reset.
That's necessarily not. That's a good move. Sometimes you just want to get resituated.
Yeah, just place yourself where you need to place and get yourself out. Looks like he's got it this time.
Yep, he made it through, and that's the last dark room you'll have to deal with in here.
Just to clarify what I was mentioning earlier, a sequence break is when you're going beyond the terms of what the logic says you should be doing at this point. Going through dark rooms, such as what SuperNinTaylor and Swerb are doing, technically is not required in order to beat the game. The logic intends that you would have the lamp when you go to the Armos Knights, so therefore this is what we call a sequence break.
That is correct, and to further extend on that, you'll never find the lamp beyond a dark room. So, in a sense, the logic is telling us, okay, well, you need to find the lamp before you can do this dark room, even though you technically can do it without the lamp.
So we've already found all 3 items in here. Swerve knocks out the final Armos Knights, gets the first crystal of the seed at 1410.
All right. It's always nice to see that low time for your first crystal, even though kind of at the end of the day it doesn't really matter too much, since sometimes you could be getting your first crystal at like 40 minutes in, but then you might be closer to go mode at that point. So but still, just to kind of see that low time is always kind of a nice little thing to see on your timers every now and then.
Yep, I like the strategy that both these guys did. They ended up using the arrow to kind of figure out where the Igor was that they need to hit for the arrow, because the arrow sticks to it, and then it starts moving, so you can see where it goes. So the question now becomes, what does the south side of Hyrule have? I forgot we haven't even checked this.
Yeah, I know that this is usually a play that runners do after Kakariko, but once they got that bow from Kakariko, they're like, let's go here and check all this stuff out, which I think was a good play because they got the Master Sword out of that.
Watch Swerb finds the lamp right now.
It's
Nope,
entirely possible. It's entirely possible you'll find it here.
Moon Pearl!
Well, finds the other item anyway. That's a good find in there.
And that now opens up the Dark World, but Swerve's going to go to the Mini Moldorm Cave next.
So yeah, it is definitely nice that won't have to make this Ganon play. At the same time, though, this also does open up a lot of stuff. Open up the entire Dark World now at this point. Well, maybe not the entire Dark World, but at least the Hammer and Gloves access points, which there are quite a few of those.
Fire Rod.
Fire Rod and Mini Moldorm Cave.
So now, because SuperNinTaylor has the hammer, when he goes down here, he will have everything he needs to beat Skull Woods as well as Thieves Town. And if he finds the lamp, logically he'll have everything he needs to beat Palace of Darkness as well.
Yes, that's very true. It has some definite locations to immediately go to when you go into the Dark World. That's great. That's great way to kind of have a good mindset, especially in version 26 when dungeons are a good place to start when looking for items, just because of the high volume that there could be something in them.
And now Swerve makes his way over to get the hammer, so that will now give him access to the Dark World. Will he finish off doing the escape while he's in the area?
Since he's right here, I can definitely see that, much like NinTaylor earlier, just because Hammer, has the Master Sword as well, so that's also a faster way to get through here too, but with the hammer just makes this a very quick and easy check, especially since he's looked at everything else in here as well, doesn't want to leave those items for later.
Just a comment for our tracker, and they just adjusted it for SuperNinTaylor. I was going to mention about the Master Sword, but we got that all taken care of. But you're right. You want to take care of this now because there's a thing called backtracking and why it does add time to your run. Now, we know that there's nothing really major here in this escape, but if you start to run out of locations and you're seeking certain things, you're going to come back to this.
That's very true, and sometimes just walking back here when you're on the other side of the map, even if it is just a save and quit away, it still takes time. And at this point, where Swerb was, in the Uncle Cave, literally the closest place to Hyrule Castle, this was the best time, I think, to check this location.
So SuperNinTaylor is going to be heading to the Dark World now, and we're going to be checking out the cave I've now called the artist formerly known as Hype Cave for obvious reasons.
Yeah, in the last tournament, Hype Cave was very, very hype. 5 items here. Usually you'll have a chance to get something good. In this version, not so much. Hype Cave's been pretty bare in version 26, I've found.
Well, let's find out what we have inside. We have no hype.
And just more bombs, which you used to get in here.
No hype. It's nice to have, but still no hype. No hype. Nice to have, but still no hype. Hey, flippers!
Flippers is pretty hype, I think. Yeah, I'd say that's hype. Maybe not to the degrees of old versions, but still, it's an item that he can use.
Now watch Swamp and Ice Palace beat pendants.
Yeah, we still need that map check.
Swerve's going to take the other Dark World access up in the Village of Outcasts.
I actually kind of prefer the route that NinTaylor is taking at this point for Dark World access, just because if you have the opportunity to find the Titan's Mate, you can just go straight up here. You don't have to worry about taking this long loop around that Swerve is having to do. And we have a map check.
They are both pendants!
Wow. And I saw Misery Mire was Crystal 5. So flute will be required.
All right, digging game. Number between 1 and 30. Which dig do you think it's going to be, Slim?
14. I'm gonna go 14.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What comes after 7? 8, 9. By the way, Palace of Darkness was the other pendant. There's 14. That's
okay.
15. You're one off.
Close enough. Close enough.
I like Swerb's play here. You just got the fire rod. Check Skull Woods. You know how version 26 is.
Yeah, the one difficulty I can see in Swerve's future though is doing Mothula or fighting Mothula with such a low number of hearts.
Yeah, that's something that SuperNinTaylor is not going to have because he ended up going to Hype Cave as well as going to the Flute Boy. We've already seen one item here in Skull Woods, and if you really thought that version 26 was kind of Skull Woods, then you really enjoyed getting that 5-arrow upgrade. And there's the Fisher-Price shield, so hey, we now found everything. You can now go right straight to Mothula if you want.
Yeah, I love finding the items very early in Skull Woods. Just makes this a very quick clear, and that's exactly what Swerve's gonna go for right now.
There's no reason to check anything else. Go right straight to Mothula and try to knock down that gigantic bug.
Yeah, like I said though, six hearts max. That's gonna be like has the blue mail, which that'll reduce some damage from Mothula, but there's a lot of traps on that Mothula field, and all traps do 1 heart of damage, like no matter what mail you have.
SuperNinTaylor's checking some overworld stuff right now. The piece of heart out of the chest game. Probably will check the bomb cave as well as the sea house, and then go into Thieves Town. Swerb down to 2.5 hearts is not necessarily great, but he is going to pick up a few hearts before he heads to the bug.
Yeah, and there are a couple of heart pots.
Hook shot in the bomb cave.
Nice. Still can't quite get to Death Mountain yet in terms of logic, but that is nice to have when Death Mountain is available.
Swerve having a little bit of trouble against the Gib. Those knocked him back down to 2.5 hearts.
And he's going to need to get rid of this mummy here to get the key for this next room.
Down to 1 heart. Gotta be careful. Mummy hugs are not nice hugs.
Got some generous heart refills there, though. Gotta admit.
Yeah, that was extremely nice. So let's see if 4 hearts is enough to squash a bug. And he gave up his free hit to his free attempt to get Mothula with a hit by missing a attempt at a swing.
Yeah, he's going to need to be really, really patient in this fight right here. He needs to be watching those spikes very carefully.
Yeah, this is not a fight you want to have to keep doing over and over again. Ooh. He gets him down, though.
Came in with 4 hearts, left with 2, and that was a really good fight. Really careful fight. Very patient. That's exactly how you want that fight to go.
So Swerb getting crystal number 2 in this game. SuperNinTaylor's working on his second crystal right now in Thieves Town.
Yeah, I can see Swerb now going south to Village of Outcasts, going to do his sweep of the town, and then probably also going to make the same play as Taylor, and probably after Taylor finishes Thieves, he's probably going to go right back up and do what Swerb just finished.
That's a scary Mothula fight, too, as you mentioned, for all the reasons. He didn't start it off that well by missing his first swing.
Yeah, like, he definitely, like... Again, he knew he was at low health. Like you definitely know when you're going into that boss fight with very low number of hearts, and that's when I feel like when you're fighting Mothio, you just kind of get that just feeling of, okay, I need to be very careful. I need to be very patient. I need to get these hits in when I can. I need to avoid the spikes as much as possible, and then I'll be okay. And that's exactly what he did.
So far, nothing really big here in this Thieves Town. The big stuff has been out around town.
That's true, yeah. Not a lot has been in the dungeons so far, and we were hyping up the dungeons pretty strongly in the beginning there.
Slim, are we sure we are doing version 26 right now?
I don't know. It doesn't feel like version 26 right now.
Are you sure we haven't swapped it with 19?
Very well could be, but let's just wait with I'm sure the version 26 will be coming, I'm sure.
Well, it is Halloween. We might be doing a trick or treat with these guys.
Okay, yeah, okay. That's a possibility, too.
I did not know you could hookshot onto the door like that, what we just saw with SuperNinTaylor.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things you can use the hookshot to latch onto, and then there's a lot of other things that I feel like you should be able to, but you don't.
So SuperNinTaylor is not checking the big chest. He must have counted 4.
Yeah, I think he has been counting his items. Pretty sure that...
Yep, that confirms
exactly.
That map and compass remaining. So, which one do you think is going to be dropped by blind? I'm going to guess the map, because why not?
I'll go for compass, because that's the other one remaining. Make it interesting.
Well, we'll see which one of us is right here.
This is probably one of the only boss fights where I find sword beams is actually very helpful. And Taylor used that pretty effectively during the first 2 phases.
Yeah, having a really rough blind fight as far as trying to get him down fast, but still a tackled fight, and it is the map.
Okay, congratulations.
The winner is me.
But yeah, even though when you were probably younger and playing this game, you thought sword beams were incredible, unfortunately, when you start running Randomizer and kind of having to beat bosses under different conditions, you find that sword beams aren't really as effective as you once thought they were, just because they only deal, like, very minimal damage, almost as much as a fighter sword attack.
Well, for me, back when I was growing up, it's like, ooh, nice, sword beams. This must be just like Zelda 1.
Oh, that's true. Like this was my first Zelda, so this was the novelty for me anyway.
And then all of a sudden, after you're done using the sword beams, you get to Turtle Rock, and you're hoping that your gold buttered sword does some damage against those pokies, and it's like, what? How in the world is it not dead?
This is taking forever.
Exactly. Come on.
Yeah. And in chat, they were mentioning, yeah, sword beams are also very good for Wizrobes too, and just enemies that go down in one hit, they can be good for clearing out from a distance. But in terms of boss fights, Blind's the only one where they really kind of come into handy anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of bosses where sword beams won't even touch the boss at all.
Exactly. If only they worked on Trolldorm. That would be really, really nice, but no.
I wish a lot of things worked on Trolldorm.
That's very true.
Well, Swerb not counting his items, we'll go ahead and pop into here to find the compass. Oh, he didn't do it with blind, so that's why he had the idea of checking it. So, taking a look at these items right now, what's the next move? it's kind of hard to think of what the next move can be.
Yeah, that's right. They don't really have like a lot going on for them right now. I feel like Pod and maybe the Pyramid are the only checks that they really still need to do. I think Agana is also still available as well. Actually, did either of our runners go to Ice Cave?
Neither of them did. Neither of them checked Agina, and also Zora's open to them.
Oh, that's right. Yep, they have the flippers as well. So yeah, there's a couple of places they can go to. People are saying Swamp and Ice Palace. Actually, neither of those two locations are available right now. You need the Titan's Mitt for Ice, and you still need the Mirror for Swamp Palace.
You can't get to Hera right now because, well, logically, you're not allowed to be there because you don't have the lamp. We could see somebody make that play, though.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe one of our runners could potentially make the Death Mountain play just to see if they can maybe get some items that might further the logic. And
yeah, I was about to say I didn't think that was going to work for SuperNinTaylor. I thought he just spent way too much time with the Gyptos here and lost the ability to get to the door first cycle.
And he's going to be very low on magic right here, just enough to get through, but won't have a lot of Fire Rod shots for Moth.
Well, the good thing is you'll have some extra hearts for it, but
That's true. That's very true, yeah.
He won't even have a Fire Rod shot.
Oh, yeah, I don't think that's enough magic at all.
Well, he's going to go to the spin here. And he does connect on the first try.
Ooh, bringing out the hammer.
Maybe he wants to squish a bug flat.
And the hammer will do tempered sword damage, but doesn't even need it. Takes down the Moth just in the same fashion that Swerb did. Really nice fight.
Yeah, that's a really good fight there for SuperNinTaylor. So Swerve's going to make his way over to the Hype Cave. He'll be reunited with his flippers real soon. And again, somebody's probably going to have to make the Zora play soon.
Yeah, as we established, yeah, there's the Zora play, there's the Pod play. If they want to try doing sequence breaking up the Death Mountain, that's also available. So there are a couple of options available.
It looks like SuperNinTaylor is going to make the sequence break.
Ooh, okay. This could actually be a really, really good play too, because if you think about it, if Lamp is the only thing preventing them from getting the Death Mountain, and that's supposed to be the next logic in the breadcrumb, and if SuperNinTaylor knows Dark Rooms the rest of the way, he could be pretty well set up for the rest of the seed if this sequence brace works out.
This is not a very, very difficult cave to maneuver through, so we won't see too much problems as long as you know where you need to make your turns, and there you go. He's already through room 1.
And room 2, you just move up a little way, go down, go right, all the way to the end, and then down. And then this room is also pretty simple to get through as well.
I'll tell you what, though, Slim. If we do find a lamp up here, it tells you one big thing about this seed.
If we find the lamp on Death Mountain, you mean? Is that what you're saying?
Yep. Means the flute's got to be somewhere accessible.
Yep, exactly. Maybe a flute at Pod, or maybe even the trolley location of Catfish.
So we're just going to check the pyramid now. SuperNinTaylor right now is going to go ahead and check Spectacle Rock. On top is 300 rupees. We know that's not going to be required.
Yes. And we got the
mushroom inside. Oh, I bet SuperNinTaylor does not want to make this path. I think he just wants to drop back down, but the mushroom just a little too alluring for him. And it looks like pulling out his bombs. He may be trying a bomb jump.
Ooh, that'll be nice to watch. But yeah, it's still pretty early in the seed, I'd say. Like, you don't want to skip out on fetch quest items just on that off chance that they'll lead to something.
Did he get it? Yes, he did.
Ooh,
That's a beautiful
nice.
bomb jump.
Really nice.
And now he can drop off the right-hand ledge here to be more favorable so he doesn't have to deal with the rocks so much.
That's always nice when you can avoid those cabbages. They just get so annoying when you're climbing back up there or around there.
And Swerb saying hello to everyone's favorite monkey, Kiki.
Gonna take Link's 100 rupees and open the Palace of Darkness for him.
So, Palace of Darkness, you said this was a possible play for them. Is it going to be the play they need to make? If the lamp's in here, this is a logically beatable dungeon.
I think at this point, yeah, I think this is a really good logical play. For one, it's a dungeon. Two, it's really the only dungeon that's, in terms of logic, accessible to him right now. So even if it is a pendant, it's still, I think, worthwhile to just check at least some of it for some items that you could potentially use.
Well, we have a forced trip through the Mimic Room because we found the big key in chest number 1. SuperNinTaylor
okay.
found the first bottle we've seen all seed.
Oh, that'll be nice. Trying another bomb jump right here. Nice.
Yep, he gets it. And he's going to be going to Hera next.
Mm-hmm. Hard to believe that after Taylor finishes Hera and not too long from now, you'll have 4 crystals already at like 40 minutes in.
That's a really, really neat place to be in at 40 minutes in.
Yeah, exactly.
So SuperNinTaylor going into the Tower of Hera. Swerb is in, and this is Pendant Pod, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a pendant dungeon, so in terms of getting all the crystals and beating Ganon, pod not technically required, but again, there could be items in here, and there's always the possibility for a pedestal seed too.
We all love our pedestal seeds, and Hera does require the basement. Get your coffee ready. You're going for a break.
Yeah, SuperNinTaylor is going to do a nice little, or, well, maybe not. Maybe he wants to take some aggression out on these pots, on these tiles first with pots.
Oh, Swerb trying to set up the hammer jump.
Oh, this is a really cool trick when it's pulled off.
So he's trying to make sure he's on the right pixel, and nope, he
Not
doesn't
quite.
get it. Oh, I know why SuperNinTaylor's allowing himself to be beat up by the tiles. He's setting up death abuse.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so say goodbye to Swerve's sprite because he's now in a room that became very, very infamous for a race earlier this week. So SuperNinTaylor, he will pick up the big key. Uh-oh. Guess what? He's got a bottle!
Oh, but it didn't have a fairy, though.
It didn't have a fairy in it, though. Oh, he released the fairy. That's what.
Ooh.
He released it in the tile room. That's right.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, he did do that. Also, Swerb picked up the Cane of Samaria in the dark room here, in one of the chests.
Ladies and gentlemen, I saw a fairy fluttering around. It didn't dawn on me to think, oh wait, he had already released it.
Yeah,
Even commentators miss something.
yeah, that's right. It happens. It definitely happens. And with Randomizer, like, random spawns happen all the time. You just assume, oh, maybe the floor tiles just spawned a fairy out of nowhere.
Exactly. What the heck am I thinking? Nice bump, jump. to get the map. I told you this was going to be 100% all maps.
Yeah, we're getting all those maps for sure.
Sweet, juicy maps.
Okay, SuperNinTaylor going in for the Moldorm fight to pick up his 4th crystal at 40 minutes into the run.
Now watch the lamp be over here in this beetle room.
Very well could be.
Now, thankfully, he does have the fire rod for this room. This is going to make this a whole lot easier. Moldorm drops the other cane.
Oh, wow. If only SuperNinTaylor's color around their screen was blue instead of green, it'd be like red versus blue on like with both canes and then the actual screens as well.
Yeah, that does also make it. Ooh,
Book.
the booking pod.
Hi, Desert Palace.
Watch boost be required.
I mean, yeah. It was in the hash code after all, so
That's correct. Now, here's the thing with SuperNinTaylor. Because he found the cane of Samaria, that now makes the Spike Cave open by logic.
you mean the Cane of Burna?
That's right, Cane of Burna.
Yeah, it does make that accessible, and I can honestly see that happening as well before potentially leaving Death Mountain. Although I don't know, because usually players want to save and quit right here and go somewhere else.
That is correct. That's exactly what SuperNinTaylor is going to do.
So this might be either a play to pod or a play to the flipper locations, and I think it is going to be the latter. Yep.
It is now time to go and check Zora. Because we're starting to run out of places where we can go to open up the progression. Now, Swerb found a book that opens up desert, but is there somewhere else where we need to go?
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's again, like you said, boots could be required, and desert may not have any openings right now. And so there are a couple. There's still some other locations we'll have to check.
20 rupees from the hobo says no. Swerb ended up missing out on this big chest up here, and now realizes because he has a key in hand that this could be an item. And it is 5 whole rupees.
Not a he's gonna bomb the chest too before saving and quitting. Yeah, saving and quitting. He's not gonna opt to finish this dungeon, which probably not a bad call because again it is a pendant dungeon. But I don't even remember if he had all of his items yet or not.
Ice Rod Cave at 43 minutes in. Swerb is sulking SuperNinTaylor now.
Yep.
And there's the good old landmine for extra effect. Hey! The single arrow!
Yay!
Great find!
I always like to think the single arrow, whenever you find it, is the last arrow you use. Assuming you get silvers and fight Ganon with silvers. Like, I imagine that one arrow is the last arrow that's used against Ganon to strike the final blow.
That is the best find ever. Okay, maybe not. All right, here we go. Waterfall, two chests inside, then head on over to Zora. Their piece of heart, add a red rupee.
And Swerb is doing the same exact thing. Gonna have a high five, a frog high five, as it were.
Let's go see what we have over on the ledge. The ledge has Old
Yes!
Titan's Mitt!
Someone in chat was just asking about those mitts, and yep, they are right there. We found them.
That now officially opens up Ice Palace.
It does. It opens up Ice Palace, even though technically not required yet by logic. It also opens up East Death Mountain as well. There's honestly a lot of things that mitts like kind of blocks that people don't really realize. Again, like we said, Ice Palace. There's a lot of runners who sometimes forget that, oh, right, I need mitts for this. And they just don't have the mitts at the time.
And for 500 rupees, you get 3/5 of your money back.
Not too bad. It's better than 1 rupee, I guess.
By the way, this now makes it officially a good thing that neither of these guys did the Jesus walk trick.
Ooh,
Because they would have skipped out on that and had to make a backtrack later.
yeah, and they were perfectly capable of doing that too when they went down there through the South Shore. So that was actually a good play that they opted to wait till flippers.
Swerb is now going to go ahead and, I believe, access Death Mountain, which we've already seen from SuperNinTaylor. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. SuperNinTaylor is now going to go ahead and play the logic and see what's behind the Titan's Mitt.
Well, technically, play the logic. We still don't have that lamp or flute yet.
That's
so
right.
Still sequence breaking, but honestly, it's not too bad to come up here. You get some intel for what Turtle Rock is going to be. You have some other items to check too, so I understand the play.
We're now 46.5 minutes into this run. There are still so many items that we're lacking for Go mode.
Definitely. A lot of items we still need.
We don't know if we need the boots just yet. We could need them for desert. Swerb makes his way up to Death Mountain. So both of these guys will have 4 crystals in, but still a lot of things needed. Oh, hey, Dead Rocks.
I believe that was the Ether Medallion for Turtle Rock.
Book was not behind a dark room, so therefore the desert could have the lamp we've been seeking.
Yeah, at this point, that's where like the logic, like that's the only breadcrumb we really have at the moment. I guess we have mitts too. That also opens some of the other fetch quests, like the blacksmith and the purple chest as well.
Ooh, that was a disgusting Death Mountain, Dark Death Mountain. Nothing good up here at all. Swerb is about to go pick up the mushroom now. SuperNinTaylor does have the mushroom. He has not returned it yet.
Yeah, probably wait until flute so he can make it just a very easy pass by to get that taken care of.
By the way, Swerb can do something that SuperNinTaylor couldn't do on either path up here, Death Mountain. He's got the book.
Yeah, he can check that ether tablet, and if it's vanilla ether, he will have a required medallion.
And a decision to make. Do you pop into desert, or do you pop into Turtle Rock at that point? The mirror!
Ooh, mirror in Spike Cave.
That now opens up Swamp Palace.
It opens up Swamp Palace. It opens up a variety of mirror spots, too, on the world map, and you do not want to forget those mirror spots.
And guess where SuperNinTaylor's going?
Yeah, looks like that is the play that Taylor's making here.
He could still be checking a couple other things, like the Haunted Grove, but I'm thinking the next play is heading on over towards Swamp.
Yeah, that is what it's... Well, Okay, no. Heading over this way.
No, Haunted Grove.
Haunted Grove, yep. Probably wants to... I thought he did. Maybe he's just checking the southern location, though.
Yeah, he's checking the ledge here. Don't forget, at this point in time, this is still a logic break for both of these runners. Because they went through a dark room to get to it, so we have no idea where the logic catches them up. If we find where the lamp is, that catches them up, and we're all good to go, and we can we go back to playing with the breadcrumbs.
Yeah, because at this point, that Canis and Marian book, and then that mirror for Taylor, that is kind of skipping that one vital breadcrumb in the lamp that you mentioned.
So let's check to see what the ether tablet is. This is something that SuperNinTaylor could not check because he didn't get to pod for the book. It has a heart container.
Not terrible, but not what he's looking for, I imagine.
Well, here we go. This also has the dubious honor of being the green pendant.
That means that that green pendant will open up one item at Sashrala, assuming they actually finish it and get that pendant. And with 6 other items also available at Swamp Palace, you really can't blame them for making this play. I personally find that despite the 6 items, Swamp has a very bad history of just being 6 junk items usually whenever I come through here, but there have been exceptions to the rule for sure.
What makes it even better is when you have the 6 junk items and one of the 6 junk items is on the left side and you wasted your time going there.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
To the point that you decide, no, I'm not going to check those last 2. And it's got your ether medallion in it.
Yeah, it's just so tempting to skip a far out of the way location, but you just really can't do that. You really shouldn't do that whenever possible, just because you need to check everything. You never know what's going to be left behind, and the further you get away from it, the longer it'll take to go back to it, I find.
And a clarification that should be pointed out, because we have people in our chat room talking about it, is that a bottle or half magic is also required by logic in order to get through the Spike Cave. Technically, SuperNinTaylor has a bottle, therefore he did have what logically the game says you have enough to get through Spike Cave.
Yeah, but it was still essentially a sequence break because it was a location on Death Mountain. Which
that is correct.
Can't get to by logic, but they can due to sequence breaking.
We find a bug catching net, because you really want a bug catching net in this game. A bomb upgrade, and that is 2 out of 6 so far in this dungeon.
Yeah, so far, Swamp Palace kind of just showing its reputation as far as I'm concerned, but we'll see if I'm wrong. Hopefully I am, for our runner's sake.
Well, he is going to go ahead and check the left-hand side just while he's up here. Reminder that the winner of this race will get to play in the race-off, where 30 or so players will be running Saturday, 3 p.m. Top 6 advance to the group stage. The loser, sadly, this is going to be their last race in the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament.
And because of that, like, you gotta know that, like, when they're making these decisions, when they're making these choices of which dungeons to go to or which locations to check, they're really trying to use the most logical reasoning they can to justify every single move. Even if it's just, I'm gambling on this because it could give me the edge, I need to win. So, A lot is probably going through our runners' heads right now.
Swerve's head right now is going, why did that Moldorm just push me off the ledge? And what side was junk? An arrow upgrade and a heart container.
Yep. I would say I'm surprised, but I'm not. I'm not surprised at all, honestly.
I can hear it in your voice.
Again, that's just the crazy thing. Like it's a good play because there are 7 items here, but it's just it always seems to not really work out whenever I do it.
And that is 4 items we have found so far, and the best thing we have found was the bug catching that.
Which, not a bad item, definitely not. Good safety item, just in case, but it will not progress the seed in any way, shape, or form.
So we're going to do Spiral Cave and then head over to the Dark World. Where does he go next after this?
Well, he has that book, so it may not hurt to go towards Desert, because there is also the very early location of Agina that's still on the table.
50 rupees and a compass. We're now down to 1 item left in this dungeon. And Argus is going to have it.
Yep. I was honestly just thinking that, again, if they do find that lamp and kind of get caught back up with the logic again, all 3 pendant dungeons are capable of being completed at that point once they find lamp, I'm pretty sure. So this could be pointing to a chat favorite location known as the pedestal.
Could we have a blind pull in that case and say they've already done Skull Woods and most of the north side of, or the west side of Dark Hyrule?
Possibly.
I mean, you've had the unfortunate fun of having a blind pedestal pull. What's going through your mind when the 3 crystals are popping, or rather the 3 pendants are popping up?
Well, again, it's because of how attractive dungeons are in terms of this version's logic. It's like you want to check dungeons for items, and if you're checking pendant dungeons, in some cases, if they're quick dungeons, you want to complete them as well, just to make sure you're not missing anything. And then if you do have everything, it's like, well, I'm close to the end, I can go ahead and finish this up, and then I can be guaranteed for the pedestal just in case. So it's just like, if it's right there, it's not necessarily a bad idea to check it out, because you never know. That could be a huge advantage for the race, that, or just the run in general that you're currently on.
A piece of heart from Argus, 6 junk items. But what does that green pendant have?
And Taylor might be heading that way, and they also do the Eastern check as well to kind of be a little caught up with what Swerb has already done.
Will he pop into pot? It looks like that might be the case. Swerb is going to go through the spike cave, and he will be finding the mirror real soon. So where does the logic take him? Once again, he's got the book. And technically, that book was before a dark room. So therefore, he logically was able to have that and access to Desert. Also, he has access to the Bombos tablet.
Yeah, he does. He does. That's another location he has as well. The Cane of Burna was in the Tower of Hera.
You had to defeat a trolley Moldorm in order to get to it. Ooh, SuperNinTaylor is checking something else that we haven't seen yet, perhaps.
Ooh, yeah, Catfish. A very out-of-the-way location, but at this point, kind of running low on options, so not too surprising. And with the mirror, we could also get another check right here, too.
Oh, that's right, the mushroom. Swerb has not brought that back. SuperNinTaylor is now just bringing it back. And we're going to do the glitch. Or rather, not the glitch, but the proper setup that gets you on the bush. And it's the ice rod.
Ice rod. Doesn't really advance the logic, but it is an item they will need. So, very good pickup there.
So Swerb is going to have to make his way over to the potion shop at some point in time.
Again, with Mirror, that might be a little more appealing to check out just because of that. We got a piece of heart on the sick kid.
Yeah, unfortunately, something not much there, but SuperNinTaylor's going to go ahead and check Catfish. Let's see what Catfish has.
Just
Bombs. Oof.
That Catfish was like, I don't want you throwing stuff in my circle. I'm just going to try to throw some bombs at you as a punishment.
Be gone, mister. Now time for everyone's fun thing, the peg cave without the boots.
Yes, it's such fun and riveting gameplay.
Thunk, 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 thunk.
Now that thunking gives us just 10 arrows.
Now Swerb is able to do something that SuperNinTaylor's not going to be able to do since he already turned in the mushroom.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
If he chooses to do it. And that is to do the glitch. Ooh, silver arrows!
So that's what they've been working on making this whole time. The item to slay Ganon.
Swerv's not even going to do the sequence break. Well, they're already one sequence ahead, so...
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but that's one thing, like, sometimes doing a sequence break to bypass the logic, not too bad, especially if it's something like the lamp, for example, but you don't want to go too far ahead, because then you won't know where exactly the sequence wants you to go after a while, because you'll have so many other items in addition to that.
Now you cannot go in with me, says the chest, and that's because Swerb is a little too close to the door.
I'd be a little more freaked out that the chest was actually talking to him, honestly.
Apparently, the chest has a mind of its own.
I guess so.
No wonder why it's called Gary's Lunchbox.
Gary's inside, I guess.
Well, isn't that why you take it over to this locksmith over here to free Gary?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Well, what is it going to yield us this time? 20 rupees.
I actually do like this routing from Swerb right here, though, because now he's going to be able to check the Bombo's tablet, and then right from there, jump down and start checking the desert locations.
Alright, Bombo's tablet is in the newest part of the logic here for Swerb, because he just picked up the mirror. SuperNinTaylor picking up the silver arrows, and hey, it's just a heart container.
Yeah.
Sorry. First, we're going to see what's on the desert ledge. Slim, what's on that desert ledge?
Just a red rupee.
Where could these progression items be? Where's SuperNinTaylor going?
I don't know. Maybe check Northern Dark World while he has the chest in hand.
It's a new kind of world tour.
Guess so. Gary's gonna check out the scenic route here, I guess.
Bombs and desert, that's one.
Oh, well, if it was just bombs and desert, then he can't actually search any other items in here because it's boost locked right now.
Good point. Yes. Bombs being there means we're now boot block.
Yep, and that means boots are officially required by this seed.
Da da da.
Okay, let's see what's inside Aghanos Cave now.
Available from the very beginning. All you need is a bomb. Come on, show us something good. Nope.
Just more bombs.
What is with the seed?
Yeah, I'm trying to think right now. Like, Lamp can't be in many other locations right now.
Ice Palace.
Yep, Ice Palace. That's it. That's where it is. That or other progression to lead to Lamp.
Swerb's going to be turning in the mushroom now. We'll be happy to get the ice rod, but it doesn't open anything for him.
So at this point, whoever we see make the Ice Palace play, I'd almost be, well, NinTaylor does have to also at some point swing by Pod to pick up that cane as well, but yeah, like whoever heads the Ice Palace at the first would be a big move, I think, in this race.
I think this is going to come down to whoever checks Ice Palace the first. It's another pendant dungeon that we're going to sink into.
Definitely.
Oh, I know what SuperNinTaylor's going to do. He's going to go ahead and turn this green pendant into Sarashla once he's on his way to Pod now.
This does not surprise me. Just because I feel like Pod was at least a little available at first. Or earlier than what Ice Palace would be, so might be thinking that the lamp could potentially be here. I can understand this play, but as we know, Ice Palace is going to be the progression here.
And he almost forgot to mirror over. Let's see what Sarashla has, and it's going to be
another heart container. Halfway done with that second row of hearts, too. Gonna have a lot of health for this seed.
You're 68 minutes into this seed. This is an elimination seed. You almost forgot Kiki, too. You're 68 minutes into the seed. What's going through your mind?
I need to find some progression so I can stay ahead of my opponent or catch up with my opponent.
Guess what we're getting?
Going through there, huh?
We are getting the pedestal check. What's inside the pedestal?
Just couch cash.
Couch cash! No!
Aww.
Sorry, Slim.
Yeah, that's okay. Chat asking where the heck is progression? At this point, we've narrowed it down to Ice Palace. That is, at this point, the only logical place. And when I say logical, I mean in terms of the randomizer logic, that is where the progression items will be at this point. Everything else, I believe, has been checked.
These guys are doing everything in their power not to go into Ice Palace.
Yep.
And at this point, this has got to be where progression is.
Yep, exactly. Catfish was checked. Catfish only had some bombs.
Which really bombed.
Yeah, it did. It was an unfortunate check.
So, we'll find some progression at some point in time. Like we did find the Canis and Maria, but without the ether, there's no way to get into Turtle Rock at this point.
Mm-hmm. And again, it just also goes back to that logic too, where technically you needed the lamp to even get the Canis and Maria, at least by the logics.
Which means Turtle Rock is not going to have the lamp.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Ooh, red shield on. I think we probably saw that earlier. I didn't notice it, but yeah, level 2 shield in the graveyard cave.
Yep, SuperNinTaylor brought the chest up there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
One of these guys has got to make that path to Catfish. We now know that Swamp was completely waste of a time because it had nothing.
And it looks like Swerb is going to be making that play to Catfish, and then right afterwards, there is that whirlpool in the light world that will take him straight to Ice Palace, so that will be a potential good play for him. He could be thinking that I technically sequence broke to get this mirror, so maybe Swamp is not really on the table just yet.
That would be the right play to make.
Yeah, it is definitely the right play at this point.
And we're saying that more because we know that it's the right play to make, but based on what you just said, too.
Mm-hmm. Saving and quitting, though.
Yeah, Yap's not to go ahead and use the mirror. Instead, we'll go right back to the home base, and this will make a big difference right now. He is going to Swamp.
South. Oh. Well, at this rate, he's not really losing a lot of ground, since SuperNinTaylor's technically checking what Swerb's already checked, and Swerb's checking what Taylor's already checked. But yeah, we know, unfortunately, as commentators and viewers of this race, this is not where Swerb needs to be going.
Got the jump for the hammer jump, and SuperNinTaylor now checking the dark room, trying to make his way through. Got the Canis and Maria.
Wondering if Taylor might opt to finish this dungeon, which we know that Swerb did not do when he was here.
But you've got to be getting nervous at now 72 minutes in.
Oh, for sure.
You are still missing so many items for Go Mode.
Yeah, and at this point, like, literally the seed will turn into a follow the breadcrumb seed once they find that progression, because then, at that point, they can start narrowing it down to all the rest of the places they need to check, because they've checked pretty much everything else that they could even think to check at this point. Even some extra stuff, with stuff that they couldn't even do in terms of the logic either, so it'll be very linear at that point onward.
Well, at this point in time, we are still missing the boots, which we now know are required to get through desert, the flute to get you into Misery Mire, the ether that gets you into Turtle Rock, and whatever medallion may be required for Misery Mire if it's different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a lot of unknowns at this point.
That is an unusual amount of unknowns for this time of the race. Usually when we get to this point, it's like that one item, and right now it's 4 different items.
Exactly. And at around 40 minutes into the seed, Taylor had his 4th crystal, and then 35 minutes later, hasn't gotten another one yet. So that's just this next progression item has been eluding them for the last 30 minutes.
This seed has come to a complete crashing halt.
Mm-hmm. And in order to stop that halt, they need to slip around on Ice Palace for a little bit.
That is not necessarily what SuperNinTaylor needed to have happen right there as he got bolted into the pit. Gonna have to be careful, and he does turn on the cane of burner to make sure that he will survive to get to the next room where there's 3 hearts waiting for him.
Yep. Yes, Lord Monty 4. Desert Palace is boots locked. The first item they found was a bunch of bombs in the first chest, which means the key has to be on that torch.
This is definitely a seed that these guys probably didn't want to have to deal with for what is essentially an elimination match.
Yeah, I would definitely not want a seed like this for this kind of scenario.
Bad enough, you had a pedestal required seed in your last race.
I did for sure, and it was a blind pull as well, so...
SuperNinTaylor is going to go to Helmassar.
Swerb did not steal a key from the second half of Desert. So we do not know what the other items in Desert are, and Taylor just got the book not too long ago, so he has not been in Desert yet.
And neither do we know what key is on that torch. It could be the big key,
That's
in which,
true.
even if you steal a key, you're not getting to the Lamolas.
Hmm.
Great room there for SuperNinTaylor, using the fire rod to help illuminate his way through there. 3 hearts. Gonna have to still be careful against the Helmassar King.
Yeah, the blue mail will help a little bit, but yeah, don't want to get too aggressive right here. But this is a beautiful finish, beautiful fight.
Yeah, marvelous finish. Great job. He gets done. Helmassar, what does he have? Was it a required item or was it a dungeon item? Oh, just arrows.
Yep. So now if Taylor opts to check the few book locations, we'll have a pretty close race. I mean, we have a close race right now. They're both fighting the bosses of the respective dungeons they had to check up on, so their next move is going to be very obvious.
SuperNinTaylor. Where is he going? Okay, he's going to check the Bombos tablet and probably go to the desert now.
Or straight to deserts.
Or screw that Bombos tablet. It's trash. Let's just go right straight to desert.
Yeah, I have started noticing from watching a lot of these races that people just do not like checking Ice Palace.
It is way too long if you're wanting to just dungeon rush right to Cold Stare. And I get that, but
Yeah.
you've had Ice Palace open to you for a long time.
Yeah, that's the way I see it too. As soon as it gets open, it's a viable play, and it's the... literally, it was the only dungeon for the last half hour that they could logically full complete, so, like... I just don't understand, but I guess people just do not like going through it, especially when it's not in go mode.
And we know there's got to be something, at least one item in Pendant Ice that's going to move this seed along. Watch it be the ether that sends them up to Turtle Rock already.
Well, it'd have to be either the lamp or flute before that, because they need to even get to Death Mountain with the logic first.
That is correct. Watch it be the ether, and then they would mirror out to find out the lamp is behind there.
Yeah. That is possible. Again, just from watching both of these runners, they seem to know their dark rooms very, very well. So that might be just what they're thinking, because they're like, well, we know our dark rooms. We don't need the lamp. So maybe that could be what they're thinking right now.
So SuperNinTaylor finding the bombs, and now he realizes that is the end of his Desert Palace trip. But he's thinking about it. Maybe this is a kind of a, what else do I have left?
Guess what, Taylor? Winter is coming, and I'm not talking about the season. I'm talking about Ice Palace. But I guess there's always Bombos first in the Bombos tablet.
Let's delay the trip just a little bit longer. Swerb checking the green pendant will soon be extremely ecstatic to get his heart container. Watch me have a frame-for-frame trip through Ice Palace at this rate.
You probably will. I mean, just... They're making the same exact decisions at this point, just in different locations.
All right, I got a heart container. Yeah! It's exactly what I need 80 minutes in.
Okay. Please go south and not... Okay, good. You gotta think that Taylor's gonna be doing the same thing now too.
Yeah, he's out of options. You have 19 bombs. You don't need them. Oh no, Swerve's got the ice rod cave.
Oh right.
He's so extremely happy to get the single arrow.
He's going to an ice place, not the right ice place, but.
And SuperNinTaylor now heading on over to Ice Palace. Swerb going into the ice rod cave. They're both going to something frosty.
Yep. At this
Here
point,
we go.
Yeah.
Ta-da! There you go. He bombs it.
He left the bomb.
Alright, so what do we find in this very first chest in Ice Palace? Is this an item, or are they going to have to go deeper into the depths of this apparently atrocious place that these guys have spent so long going to? Where's Swerb going? Oh, he must have just accidentally hit the whirlpool.
Yeah, okay.
And the chest contains...
Big key!
Let's go deeper. Because that's what you so badly want to do in this Ice Palace, is have to go on down to the 4th floor.
Yep. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they'd find both lamp and flute in here at this rate.
Well, that bomb did blow up the hole. Didn't necessarily do the crystal switch. These guys have had a pretty good job bombing themselves in the face today.
Yeah, a little bit. There are 3 items in Ice Palace.
Ooh. Somebody in chat just made a very interesting comment here. Guess what SuperNinTaylor did not do? What Swerb did.
Swerb did check the pedestal.
SuperNinTaylor didn't. Guess who has 2 pendants?
Yep, SuperNinTaylor does, so...
We could be seeing a blind pedestal pull here from SuperNinTaylor.
The blind ped pull for the legendary couch cash. Yeah.
SuperNinTaylor missed up on the hook shot, ended up getting himself knocked back into a pit, had to do the bomb jump again.
It is actually, now that you mention it, it is actually really good that Swerb has done that head check. Because now if he does find the 3 items, yeah, he's going to just warp out when he's done. He's not going to even bother with Cold Stare, because why would you if you know what the pedestal is?
Exactly.
And so this would make it pretty even, I think, at that point. If anything, Swerve's probably a little ahead right now.
Swerb's having some issues with the bomb jump, though. It's gonna have to be careful down to 4 hearts. 3 hearts. Gets it. No! Oh, come on, Swerb! He's gonna give up on it.
Thankfully, Samaria, well, this can of Samaria, full clearing without the bomb jumps, not too much longer, so may not be a bad thing to kind of cut your losses and just move on.
You gotta be careful here, Swerb. A heart and a half is not a good place to be in Ice Palace.
Nope. They give you the blue mail here for a reason.
Because it helps so much against Cold Stare. There's the Quake Medallion, which we don't know if it's required just yet.
And that is definitely not progression yet either.
There's a key. Swerve's gonna check the freeze ores here.
Flute!
There's the flute!
Okay, so there's probably something in the mire area.
Guaranteed.
I think there's still items.
Guaranteed progression, but we're not done yet. But wait.
No.
There's more.
There is definitely more.
I'm really worried about Swerve's health, and if he ends up dying in this dungeon, could he possibly just leave here? And what if the Quake turns out to be the medallion required to get into Misery Mire?
Don't even want to think about that. Getting almost looked like he was on a pinball table right there with how he was bouncing around that room.
There's the ether.
Ether! Okay, that essentially, yeah, that opens up Turtle Rock now.
You know the boots are not going to be here. We also know the lamp is not here.
Yep. Which means the lamp could be either in Mire area, in Mire, or Turtle Rock.
Lamp can't be in Turtle Rock, though, because of Kane Samaria.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Mire area, then. Unless there's more progression.
It's got to be either in Misery Mire, the Mire Shed, or the Checkerboard Cave.
Mm-hmm. Or they get some powder or a shovel that will lead to fetch quests. But yeah, that's pretty much where Lamp can be now.
And remember, SuperNinTaylor doesn't know that this is not a pedestal required seed. Once Swerb gets this third item, and there it is, the Quake, he is done.
Yeah, he's done, and I think he officially pulls ahead at that point.
Yep, and SuperNinTaylor, not realizing that this is not a pedestal required seed, is going to be going to Cold Stare.
Not a lot of hearts. Thankfully, he does have blue potion just in case, but
yeah, he's gonna wait. Yeah, he's gonna wait until he uses the fire rod shots here. At least get the guaranteed hit stuff on him. Oh, go to your potion, please. You don't want to get bodied.
Whoa!
That would have been a death right there. He cannot get hit by the puffs.
Yeah, he cannot at all.
It would be a blessing in disguise right now. It would get him to leave, but maybe he would think about going back. He's down to one more. Ooh, this is a tense fight. And there it is. Cold Stare is down. And he is going to pull the pedestal on his way to do the swag duck.
Yep. And Swerb is going straight for the Mire area. Good play. Very good play.
Can't blame him at this point.
Nope.
Watch it be Bombos now. Because why not?
Yeah. Gonna check the shed first. Kind of putting us in suspense here.
Hey, SuperNinTaylor, you have to activate the Swag Duck before you can use the Swag Duck. There's the lamp.
There's the lamp. Okay.
And
Meyer
with that,
is. Well, we'll see. We don't know the medallion yet, I guess. But yeah.
and with that, we are now back in the logic. Oh, it is Quake.
Yeah. So we are officially caught up with the logic, at least on Swerve's side anyway. So anything he got in a dark room, all the plot holes have been taken care of.
All we need now for go mode are the boots.
Yeah. And those boots could either be in Mire or buried in Turtle Rock. There's probably few other locations as well, but those are the most likely places at this point.
Well, you notice what dungeon is part of that 5-6 combo.
Oh, that's right. This one right here.
Could the boots be at the Pyramid Ferry?
Could be. They very well could be.
Well, SuperNinTaylor did end up activating the Swag Duck, but he's got some business to take care of right now.
Yep.
And because Swerb is going to be dealing with some rooms, we already know what's going to end up happening. He's going to have to deal with this pretty much straightforward room, and SuperNinTaylor is about to pull the pedestal blindly. And get ready for the hype, guys. Get ready for the big hype that SuperNinTaylor thinks he's going to be able to use to get himself ahead in this seed. Ready? Here we go. Hype train, here we go. And deflated.
$20.
Half magic
Half
inside
magic
the Mire. That's nice.
But Taylor is going to go straight to Meyer after that, and that is a very, very good play. He's going to have everything he can to complete this dungeon as well. Still very much a race.
And SuperNinTaylor now picking up the lamp, and now he's back on logic.
He is, for sure.
So the half magic is a nice find, but it doesn't advance the logic at all. So we now wonder what the second item is going to be here. Well, that map doesn't do anything for us.
We're still on track with the map counter, though.
I told you, Slim, this was going to be 100% all maps.
I didn't deny you for 1 second.
You were thinking good in your mind. So we wait for the longest cutscene in Mire, wait for the room to stop shaking, and is this where the big key is located?
That's where it normally is. Boots and boots!
At 1 hour 31 seconds, Swerb, the first of our runners to be in
go mode. Quite literally, the most literal of go modes, too. He puts on those boots, and now he's just flying through this dungeon now.
And the big key is going to be on the right-hand side.
Yeah, in such a short period of time, we were looking for 4 items, and now all the items have been taken care of now. So,
And those because they had such a huge reluctance to go into Ice Palace.
and you just at this point you just think, if I made the gamble into Ice Palace a little earlier, I'd have such a quick go mode and could be potentially finishing the seed around this point. Now, there is also the question of the Cane of Samaria, since that wasn't a pendant dungeon. But still, like, there weren't really that many other out-of-the-way items aside from that one, really. Maybe Mirror and actually, will Mirror even be required at this point?
Well, Mirror was a nice find, but you are right. Mirror was not required.
Yeah, I don't think it was. It definitely made, like, the blacksmith quick check a little faster, and that gave him the silvers, which significantly will speed that up. But yeah, like, I don't think Mirror was ever really a factor. Really, just that cane was the one item that was kind of locked away in that 40 minutes of looking for progression.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing. As you've mentioned before, these guys had their fourth crystal at around the 40-minute mark.
If they just made that play in the Ice Palace, they could have been in go mode before even the hour mark.
Just be careful, Swerb. You don't want to get bodied by an eyeball. But now you're going to be perfectly fine. 2 silver arrows, and here we go. It's time to go mode a Turtle Rock. Watch it. The laser bridge be required. Now, technically, you could say that the mirror was not required, but on the same token, if the mirror wasn't required, then the book was required for
Right.
desert access.
Yes, that is true, and this mirror right here will make accessing desert so much faster.
Never mind about desert, guys. Desert is such a blink in the eye.
Yeah, especially in go mode.
By the time SuperNinTaylor makes it to Vitria, Swerb will be done with this thing. And it was a small key on here, so you could steal a key, but you weren't going to get anywhere in this dungeon still.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you stole that key, then you wouldn't have a way to get to the boss anyway without the boots, so stealing a key would not have done much, if anything.
SuperNinTaylor is about 3 minutes and 45 seconds behind Swerb at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's based on the go time timer there.
As we've seen, though, Taylor's had some amazing boss fights, though, so I could see Taylor potentially catching up in terms of execution, but Swerve's been on his point as well. Also had some really good boss fights, so I think Taylor could potentially bring back some time, but Swerve has a very definite lead at this point, for sure.
Yeah, there's various things in execution that could come back to play. Both of these guys are pretty good at their execution, but who knows? We could be seeing some interesting things. Nerves can come on the nerves could come to play as well. Remember, this is an elimination match.
Yep. One player will be eliminated, the other player will get one chance to make it to the next phase in the tournament in the tiebreaker this weekend.
That tiebreaker is going to be so difficult too.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of really, really good runners going to be in that tiebreaker, so
Hey, Slim.
honestly, yeah.
Guess what we just got from Lamolas?
I actually did not see, unfortunately.
The map.
Ah, okay. Yep. All right. Gotta get the map from one more place now.
We're just collecting a total amount of brochures.
It's cool. They can have the maps and they can put them on their memory wall of all the journeys they had during the seed.
All things wide and true for both these players, where they've went on the adventures throughout the entire world of Hyrule. Right about the same time they burned this seed. And there wasn't really anything bad about this seed. It's just that these guys got led in the wrong direction because they did not want to go into Ice Palace.
Yeah, exactly. That Ice Palace play was the big one. And see, from seeds like this, where, yeah, you may want to avoid Ice Palace because it's long, because you want to do it in Go mode, but just having that knowledge that something like this could happen in a seed, specifically when they have another big seed coming up this weekend if they win, that's good knowledge to have that maybe I should tackle this dungeon earlier if it's pointing me in that direction.
So we head through Turtle Rock. Welcome to Linear City.
Yeah, Turtle Rock in Go mode, not very much different from just going through Turtle Rock normally. You're going to want to hit pretty much all the same spots to find keys to get up there, and depending on when you get certain keys and the big key, you might have to check even more, so they'll have a pretty linear experience here.
Now, this is not a really warm start to this Turtle Rock. Only one key taken away, and no big key either. So this is not a fun Turtle Rock scenario, although we haven't checked this chest down here in the bottom left.
Oh, okay. It's also worth noting that they still only have Master Sword right now. There is potential they could find another sword upgrade in here.
Who knows? Playing Ganon's Tower could get one a sword that's better than the other one's sword. We've seen that happen before.
Yes, we definitely have. Maybe even two swords in Ganon's Tower.
That was a crazy seed earlier today. That one that had that happen. I'm not going to spoil the results. You can go ahead and watch them on the VOD or on YouTube when it gets posted there. But that was a crazy Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. It sounded like it was pretty insane.
Well, let's just say that two runners entered Ganon's Tower on Plastic Sword. They didn't have Plastic Sword when they went up the tower.
Wow.
So we're having a little bit of trouble against the Pokey. And now has everything attacking him.
Yeah, those anti-fairies were literally blocking every single pixel as they were coming down through that hallway.
So one key at this point, you can't make that gamble and know that you wouldn't be passing up a key somewhere that would allow you to prevent the trip down our good old lovely little laser bridge room. And there's a nice small key right there. Laser bridge. Not gonna happen today.
Yeah, it won't be. Still, though, like I kind of mentioned before, could be wanting probably a sword upgrade in this next chest, though, just because there's a huge difference in terms of time and also just comfort when it comes to battling Trinex.
Swerb is not even going to check. He's going right straight to Trinex with his Master Sword in hand.
If he's comfortable with that, that's fine. That's fine. Go for it.
More power to him.
Mm-hmm. He does have the hammer to do tempered sword damage, but that hitbox is really, really small.
Well, what probably helps his decision now is the fact that he's got half magic.
That's also another good thing too. Yeah, he could probably get a couple of sword swings in there and not worry too much about it.
We may be losing our map counter.
Uh-oh. No, it's gotta appear here. Don't let it end like this, Trinex. Don't let it end like this.
Well,
Firehead down.
Yeah, he's halfway done, but I wish he could have gotten that menu changed before the first head ended up going down.
It's fine as long as the ice head didn't get the. As long as the ice head didn't get the ice on the ground, that's not too bad, honestly.
Yep, he's got both heads down, and now time to go ahead and watch the head explode. 2.5 hearts, but he does have a fairy in a bottle, so he does have security.
And Taylor got kind of locked behind those chain chomps, though.
Didn't really lose all that much health, though.
Oh, yeah, it's good. Those chain chomps do a lot of damage. Probably the most hitting enemy non-boss in the game.
There you go.
There it is. We got the map.
All maps, 100% all maps.
And if hopefully we do get a Ganon's Tower, and in that case, SuperNinTaylor would have every single map in the game for sure. Like, oh no, I guess they both do. Yeah, because Swerb did go through all of Pod as well.
Hey, Slim, it's time for that path over to Ganon's Tower.
Yes,
We do a counting game.
Yes, we do. There are 22 chests in Ganon's Tower. We are guessing which numbered chest the big key will be in so we can progress through the rest of the tower. Get your guesses in. I expect to see a lot of 22s because for some reason you guys like being mean to our runners and making that big key a tile room. But nonetheless, get your guesses in right now.
1 through 22, I'm going to guess number 7. What about you, Slim?
I'm going to go with chest number 19.
All right, well, here we go. 1 small key, 2 bottles. And that allows Swerb to go the right-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
So, SuperNinTaylor is going to check this chest. It's just a key.
Just a key.
When you don't need one.
Yeah.
That would have been huge if that was a sword.
It really would be. Huge difference when it comes to the sword fights, and Ganon from Master Sword to Tempered Sword makes a huge amount of difference. Even with silvers, it's a huge difference.
So 3 no, 4 no, 5 yes.
5.
Chest number 5, right-hand side. If you guess chest number 5, you win. Well, I don't know what you win.
All the maps.
I've used the validation chest as usual, but if we find a map in here, you get the entire collection of maps.
Yes.
And just a reminder that if you want to play along in the chess game and you want to get your name on the leaderboard, it's open to those people who have subbed or donated 250 bits there to Speed Gaming. And anyways, we do thank everyone for their support. Try next here for SuperNinTaylor, Swerb going up the mountain.
Should be seeing a very, very similar fight from Trinex.
Swerb now heading up to the gauntlet. You're now at an hour 49 in, and you ended up having to go through everything but ice. How nervous are you? Why haven't you seen a dot done yet?
They have to be thinking that, you know, I did skip Ice House for a very long time. It was open for a very long time. I'm sure both of our runners feel behind at this point, so they're probably very, very nervous. They want to continue in this tournament, and they're going to want to do everything they can to win, so they're going to be nervous to the very last second, I'm sure.
I think we're seeing that come into play here with Swerb running to the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Getting hit pretty badly.
As you said, he does have that fairy, so that is good, and he has that in his back pocket.
Yeah, but you want to save that for Ganon with your blue mail.
That is true, and unfortunately with no powder, there's not going to be another opportunity to pick up another one coming up here.
Two hearts left. Fairy in a bottle, but still. You don't want to have to use it at this point.
Nope, not at all. Master Sword Ganon is a very, very long fight after all.
The only thing that makes it easier is the fact that they've got half magic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, will SuperNinTaylor go for the same route? Yes, he is.
Now, if Taylor does opt to maybe give one more room a check and there's a sword upgrade in there, that wouldn't be too bad, but at this point I imagine that because feeling behind, Taylor may just want to go for it.
Both of these guys are going to be, like I said, both of these guys are going to be feeling like they're behind only because of the fact that they both waited so long to get into Ice Palace, which is where all the progression turned out to be.
Mm-hmm. And not just that, also just the aspect of Taylor, for example. Taylor did not leave Ice Palace when Swerb did. Swerb did not full clear Ice Palace. He didn't need to. He knew that last pendant was not going to be necessary, so he just opted to leave immediately while Taylor cleared the whole thing. So that's another time waste that's probably on Taylor's mind right now, too.
320 rupees in that room as we're trying to get ourselves a sword upgrade, which would make this Ganon fight a whole lot easier for both of these guys. And bombs. Oh, and Swerb loses his fairy. Swerb is not going to have that guarantee in protection when he goes up against Ganon coming up.
He will not. Now, one thing he could do.
Oh, this
He
falls!
Oh! Okay, that is not good. I was gonna say that he could also opt to stop by the potion shop if he really needed to, but at this point, not knowing where his opponent is, that may not happen.
Old Arm coming back for more. Oh, almost pushed him off that time. And he gets him down. There we go. And the validation chest is a bomb upgrade. We are doing Master Sword Ganon coming up.
Also, we didn't get the map, did we?
No, we did not, which unfortunately interrupts our hopes and dreams for 100% all maps. These guys have to reset and do this tower all over again.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way to properly go on at this point.
I bet these guys do not agree with us.
Well, on the flip side, they know where all the items are. They'd make the Ice Palace gamble much sooner. Or not really even a gamble, just the play on Ice Palace.
Ooh, we're getting to this part here where Aghanim is just completely off cycle, so this is just becoming a bigger of a train wreck of a fight for Swerb. He needs to get out of this, and there it is. And those bonks tell the tale.
Yeah, at this point he's got to be thinking, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna see the dot done literally while I'm on the Ganon fight." But what he doesn't know is that he is technically in the lead right now. I don't know why I said technically right there, but he is in the lead right now.
I think what's going through his mind right now is how they redacted, and I'm not seeing a dot done from SuperNinTaylor.
And he is opting to go get a potion, it looks like. Good
no,
call.
he's gonna bonk. He's bonking into the tree for the fairy.
Okay, that works too.
Ooh, SuperNinTaylor falling down. This could affect his timing here.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna reset. So, fortunately, SuperNinTaylor has to wait for the torch to go out. Here we go. It is time for Master Sword Ganon. They have the safety of the Cane of Burner if they need it, but the problem is the safety of the Cane of Burner does not help them at all in this fight.
Yeah, it does not. Unfortunately, in order to do damage with the Master Sword, you have to do spin slashes. You can't just do normal sword strikes, and you cannot spin slash when you're doing Cane of Burner, so...
Ooh, Swerb is now in that position where he cannot take another hit.
Yep.
This could still be a race. This could still be a really, really tight race. This is going to be clutch.
Yeah, at this point, it'll come down
and he's down!
Yeah. This is going to come down to literal dodging Ganon's attacks at this point.
SuperNinTaylor takes a hit to Moldorm. He's down to a heart and a half.
Ooh. That seemed like a really rough Aghanim fight, too, so...
Ooh. SuperNinTaylor's trying to go with hammer strats right now, trying to get this Moldorm taken care of. Swerb up against Ganon once again. SuperNinTaylor getting done with this Troldorm. But the good thing about SuperNinTaylor is he has the blue goo. He cannot lose sight of the fact that he's got the blue goo, though. He's got to think about using it soon, because the trip back up this tower would be the end of his tournament time at this point.
I think I would agree with that for sure.
Both of these guys not in a great position right now. SuperNinTaylor hopefully can get a better Aghanim fight. That's just a 1. That's a 1-2. And we're going to get some blue balls coming soon. And Swerb falls down again.
Okay, Taylor got another one on.
And
Taylor is caught up.
Done.
We have essentially a tie right now. Only difference, Taylor has that blue potion.
Yep, and Swerb is chasing after a fairy that didn't want to come and help him out. This is tight. This is tight. Master Sword. Loser is done. Winner goes to a race-off.
Okay, Swerb enters first.
If I'm SuperNinTaylor, I'm thinking about using that potion ASAP. And there it is.
Oh man.
Swerb getting him over in the corner, which is a decent spot to have him in right now, but this is going to come down to whose nerves are going to be the least nerved up at this point. Swerb probably thinks he lost this race because of this Ganon fight. This is tight, guys. Swerve's the first one to stage 3.
This is very tight. This is so close right now.
SuperNinTaylor probably on to stage 3 now, this next cycle. Yep, he's on stage 3. Or stage 2, rather.
Yeah, stage 2.
I'm getting ahead of myself. I want this to be stage 3. This is where the butt clenching would be a little bit less. Oh, Swerve's down to 3.5 hearts now. I think SuperNinTaylor's taking a little more patience with this fight, as you can see by how many hearts he's got left.
Yeah, like the early Mothula fight that both our runners did, patience will be a big key component here. Swerve down to half a heart.
And dead!
And he's down.
NinTaylor takes the lead.
Gets hit by a few bats, though. If he just makes it in the phase 3, that'll be very worth it.
This is the best spot to have him in right here. Oh, he's trying to get... He's using the hook shot. This is great use of the hook shot. SuperNinTaylor. Stage 3.
He made it to stage 3.
But he's got the fire bat spawning here in the first one. Finally gets him hit on the cycle 2. Both of these guys probably extremely nerved at this point.
Oh,
and
for
there
sure.
is the 4th strike to set up the final section. Oh, Swerb dead again.
Oh.
SuperNinTaylor. That's 2 hits on Ganon. 3, 1 final hit. There it is. SuperNinTaylor saves his tournament life.
Chat, let's get a GG for that. That was incredible.
As Swerve finally goes to get some potions, SuperNinTaylor will win this race.
Finishes with an SRL time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 1 second. GG.
His word in IRC, OMG. I think at this point he has no idea how he won this thing.
No, he does not. How can you know after something like that?
He had the blue goo. He used it, and he did a much more patient Ganon fight. I think Swerb was feeling the pressure and was starting to get a little too aggressive with the Ganon fight, and that's what caused the deaths.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely. That was such a patient Ganon fight, like you said. Didn't take very many risks, if any at all. Just kind of played it cool, and that's ultimately what won him this race.
And Swerve now taking a look here, going back in the hole. I think he just wants to finish this thing off for pride at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's cheer him on. Come on, this is not an easy fight. Doing Master Sword Ganon is not an easy fight whatsoever.
Definitely not. It's so hard. It's so different from Tempered and Buttered Sword completely.
just got to be patient. And now of course, he knows about the results of the race. He knows that he's lost this race. Gets him into stage 2, did not take a single hit. And I think this might be a case where, because he already knows he lost, the nerves are gone.
Yeah, really nice dodging right there. Okay, looks like SuperNinTaylor is in the waiting room.
Yeah, let's go ahead and pull him on in.
Jesus Christ.
And with that, welcome SuperNinTaylor.
Oh, hold on one sec. I
Okay.
have Discord muted just so I didn't have notification sounds. One sec. Oops.
Oh,
Hello?
no,
There you
Swerb
go.
died again.
Okay.
Okay.
I hear you guys now.
Okay, GG. Congratulations
Oh.
on winning.
Thank you. I was like actually shaking when I finished that. I should not have won that. I don't know how I won.
Well, we'll tell you how in due time, but we're going to ask you some questions about this entire seed. First, why the reluctance going into Ice Palace?
Oh, I hate Ice Palace. I don't know. When I got the mirror, I was like, that's a pretty good find, and I was kind of hoping the mirror would be something. That's why I went straight to Swamp. Plus, it's like 7 items when you include the green pendant. Then after that, I was like, well, Pod has 5 items, plus I can cash in the green pendant. And I wanted to go there right away, but I kept on, like, there was always something right in front of me that kept on pushing me away. It's like, oh, I could check the pyramid. It's like, oh, Catfish is right there, too, and I have the mushroom. Then I was at Catfish, and like, well, it's a long way back. I could just continue the purple chest in the graveyard, and things just kept pushing me away from dungeons, even though I wanted to go to dungeons. It was just really awkward. But, yeah.
Yeah, definitely showed that you were just not wanting to go to Ice Palace, and understandably so. Ice Palace is a very long dungeon, very appealing to do in Go mode, as opposed to not in Go mode. But as we saw, 3 items in there, all 3 required.
That was crazy. It was, wasn't it like 2 medallions and like a flute or something?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's exactly what it
The
was.
2 medallions you needed, the flute you needed to get you to the boots to beat this game. So you're getting to that later point here, and you're going to Cold Stare. And what a scary fight that was against Cold Stare too.
Yeah, that was pretty risky.
You pull the pedestal, you're hoping for something big, and all of a sudden you get $20. Your thoughts when you pulled that?
I thought it was game over. I thought I lost right there. I knew I got 3 items in Ice Palace. It's a pendant, but by then I kind of felt like I did way too much of the game. Like I basically 100%ed the seed. I was like, my only shot right now is if boots are on the pedestal. So I just went straight there. It wasn't boots, and I was like, I'm out of the tournament. That's game.
Well, Swerb did the same thing as you, reluctant into going into Ice Palace. The only thing that was different was that he checked the pedestal before going in. So he knew when he got the 3rd item, he did not have to finish this thing.
Yeah, that would have helped.
And then he got the boots about 3.5 minutes before you did.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be a tighter race. He had a really tough Ganon's Tower. Aghanim was really rough to him, and then he died to Ganon.
Yeah, ouch. Did he go left or right in GT?
You guys went the same route.
Okay.
And the other big thing is that you had a blue potion too for the Ganon fight.
I'm so glad I held on to that as long as I could. Like I had that for Cold Stare too, and I didn't use it. Risk it for the biscuit.
Well, hey, it definitely helped, and again, just playing that Ganon fight very conservatively and very carefully, I think, is another big reason for why you won this. Because, yeah, Swerb is still trying to finish up the Ganon fight, having a lot of trouble just Master Sword and no potions with him.
Yeah.
So you having that safety and just, like, focusing and not trying to dodge all those bats just really helped you take home the win here.
Yeah, I knew I had to use that potion right when I got into the fight. Like, one Ganon hug and I'm dead, so I had to use it right away, and then I was like, I gotta be careful because I got nothing left, so... I was a little bit panicked that I wasn't sure why he wasn't done yet, and I was on Ganon, so I was a bit nervous, but I was trying not to be too hasty and, like, throw the game either.
You had probably the very flawless Ganon. Really executed it pretty well for having just the Master Sword. And so
Yeah, I tried to stay calm. Yeah, I felt it went pretty well. I mean, the Ganon fight, that is.
And honestly, like, you had, like, really solid boss fights all the way through. Just very well executed, didn't take a lot of damage. Even the Mothula, because both you and Swerve did Mothula with very low number of hearts and didn't take any damage whatsoever against them, it seemed like.
I was trying to be too cute in that torch room when I should have just torched all those Gibdos from the start.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
And I got into the fight with no magic. I was like, well, that's okay. As long as it's not fighter sword.
Yeah.
Swerve is now finally on stage 3.
That's unfortunate. Sounds like he probably would have beat me if he didn't die.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like Rick said a little bit ago, there was about like 3.5 minutes, I think is what you said, was separating you when you found those boots, and just you made all that time back just by just playing carefully, keeping that potion, and just playing very conservatively against Ganon.
I was trying to be fairly safe against Aghanim too. Like I wasn't letting myself get pincered. I wanted to make sure I had that potion.
Yeah, if you watch this back, you'll see that Swerve got to a point where the 3 spawns got desynced so bad that you couldn't even line up doubles or triples anymore.
I hate it when that
Thank
happens.
you for dodging that bad, Swerve.
Was he trying to hit a silver shot?
He swung and missed, and then the bat was coming after him, so it was kind of a concern.
Swung? Does he have tempered or master sword?
He's got mastered. Neither of you found any sword upgrades after the Master Sword.
Yeah, I thought about checking. Nice. Did he finish? GG.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought about checking laser bridge. I was like, there could be a sword there, but I don't know. I just I didn't want to stop for anything.
You had that idea that you were behind at that point.
Yeah, I thought for a while I thought I was doing well, and then once I full cleared swamp, I thought I was way behind.
And Swerve finishes 2:12:10, the official time.
Then I did that whole blacksmith sequence before going to pod. I was like, this is stupid, I need to go to pod. But I kept on doing overworld, and it gave nothing, and then I felt even more behind. So I actually thought I was completely screwed that whole match.
Well, the blacksmith gave you something big, which helped you both out with this
silvers,
final part. Right. Yep, the silver arrows.
Yeah, that was helpful.
It was actually kind of excuse me. It was actually kind of interesting. Both of you kind of went off logic for quite a bit. After you completed, I think, your 3rd dungeons, you opted to do Death Mountain, and he actually opted to go to pod then, kind of without that lamp. So a lot of that stuff was kind of breaking the logic to a pretty big degree, and not something you'd actually fix, basically, until you got all those items and ice pals.
Yeah, it was a pretty awkward lantern spot. I mean, you had to go to... It wanted you to go to Pendant Ice Palace early, and then go right to Meyer to find the... I think that's where the lantern was. Meyer? Or Meyer? Yeah, no, Meyer Shed.
Yeah, Meyer Shed.
Swerb coming in?
He hasn't said anything yet, but we will be on the lookout for him.
So you're now 3-3 in this tournament. You now have at least qualified yourself for the Beast of the Race this Saturday at 3 o'clock. Your thoughts going into that?
Oh man, it's gonna be a tough race. There's gonna be a lot of good players there. I mean, honestly, everyone in the top 100 is good. I could lose to any of the top 100, so I don't know. I'm hoping for the best. I'm prepared for the worst, though. If I lose, it's okay. I had a lot of fun. I hope I can come top 6, 7, whatever it is. I'm happy just to be able to fight another day.
That's exactly what has happened. You now will move on to the race-off coming up on Saturday. Top 6 out of the maximum 32 who will be in it will move on to the next stage of this tournament.
I'm looking forward to it. Oh, there's Swerb.
And we welcome Swerb into the conversation.
Congratulations on finishing that race.
Yeah, congrats on winning, Taylor.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Sounds like
the wild card, man.
Sounds like it was pretty rough at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was surprised that you hadn't finished by the time I got to you.
I was saying the same
Ganon.
thing.
Like,
I was surprised you hadn't finished yet either.
like by the time I went to like Ice Palace, because it was pretty much like the last thing available to me, I was like, oh, there's no way. And it had like everything. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I felt like that like the whole game too.
Yeah, you'll find out that both of you guys pretty much delayed Ice Palace until it was the last possible option for you guys.
Which, I mean, yeah, like, so Ice Palace normally has stuff, so I was like kind of like hesitant on doing that, but my reasoning was thinking that I hadn't found the lamp yet. And so like I guess Swamp was kind of a sequence break in that sense, but like I was thinking like, okay, Ice Palace is probably gonna have lamp, and that's gonna lead to everything else. Like that's gonna give me the lamp to go up to Death Mountain and do all that stuff, and then I'll end up in Swamp Palace anyway. So I was like, let's just try to like cut that out. And obviously it didn't work out for me, and so by the time I got there, I was like, oh, I'm screwed.
I always have that same mentality with the lantern too, because like it can't be that hard locked. Like it's somewhere. So it's hard to consider it really a sequence break. I mean, I guess it is, but you know it's somewhere accessible.
Who knew it was all the way down the chain to the Meyer shed?
Yeah, that was a pretty awkward, Shane.
So, Nightmares of Master Sword Ganon coming up.
Yeah. I mean, I was like super nervous going into that, like especially like when I took that hit right before Moldarm 2 and I wasted my fairy. And I like, saw he wasn't done, so I was like super nervous, and then I died, and then I was just like tilting from there. And it was bad news.
I think the theme of this entire race was once you guys found the collection of items, all 3 items in Ice Palace being required items. Once you guys got to that point, you both were playing as if you were behind, and nerves started taking over.
Yeah, did you see me in the first torture room in GT? My nerves
Oh
were
yeah,
getting
that's
to me.
right. Yeah.
And I just told myself, like, just calm down. Just do the tortures.
Yeah, a big aspect, and one thing that actually put you ahead for quite a bit of the later stages of the race, Swerb, was that you actually checked to see what the pedestal was, and unfortunately Taylor did not. Actually did a blind pull himself, so you didn't fight Cold Stare. You also didn't fight Helmasaur as well, so you saved a lot of time there. Ended up being in go mode about 3.5 minutes before Taylor was actually, but yeah, just the really rough Ganon fights, understandably.
Yeah.
So I hate doing Master Sword Ganon so much, even with silvers.
Yeah,
Just
and
that's what kind of led to this, I guess.
And even before then, you had a really rough Aghanim too, where the three spawns got desynced to the point where you were having a hard time getting singles and doubles.
Yeah, they got really distinct, and it was like, yeah, the guy like messed up because like the real Aghanim was like the one shooting the ball first every time, basically. and like he's teleporting away before I could even hit like his copy's balls. So it's like, well, I hope he doesn't shoot a blue ball. It was like basically like fighting Egg in one.
And then
Egg
here
in
comes
one
a,
With like 2 annoyances added on.
and then here
This
comes
is,
the blue
like,
ball.
frustrating. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know why I checked pedestal. Like I was just gonna assume it wasn't a pedestal seed. The real reason like I went over there was because like I don't know why, but like I like after finding that mirror, I thought about where Cape was, and it made me like suspicious that like, oh, I needed to go grab Cape, and then like what I needed was gonna be on the bumper cave ledge, which is like the main reason I went over there. And then like while I was over there, I was like, well, I might as well check like pedestal and like everything else that I checked while I was up there.
Am I the only one that had brief thoughts of grabbing that cape before Master Sword Ganon?
I wish I had. Let me
I
tell
was
you.
like, I wonder if I should grab that. I was like, no, I don't think that will save enough time for me.
But yeah, checking pedestal gave you some really, really great intel though, so that was definitely a good play there for sure.
Yeah, it was also like worth checking. Like I said, it was like a secondary objective, but I was like, well, I'm here, might as well check it. Especially because like since I left Helmasaur alive, I was like, I don't want to go back there unless it's like last resort kind of deal.
Right.
Unless it was also like a pedestal. Like if I know it's pedestal, like I'll go do it. But otherwise, I don't want to go there. And so that helped me like knock off like that reasoning to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wished I checked pedestal earlier. Usually I have a rule like to check it as soon as I can. Like if I have the flute, just go check it. But I didn't check.
Yeah, the thing that made it tough to check was the fact that both of you guys had already done the Skull Woods and Thieves Town, so there wasn't any reason to go back in that direction.
Yeah.
I do want to give Swerb a lot of credit for finally pulling through and getting just continuing on with that Ganon despite as much trouble as he gave you.
Oh, I would have been so tilted.
Yeah, I mean, I was very tilted, like, especially like after the first like 2 deaths, and you still hadn't done, and I was like, oh my god, why is this happening? And then like once you finished, I was like, all right, well, whatever, you know. It's like I was like, might as well just calm down. Like, there's no point in being angry over this anymore.
No nerves anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also give you guys credit for what was a really challenging Mothula fight, Swerb.
Oh yeah, I thought that was like a mistake going in. I was like, this could be like, I was like, if I die here, I was like, GG.
Yeah, went in with 4 hearts, only lost half of
Ouch.
them. And yeah, really solid fight.
The start really scared me because I was going in for like the spin slash with the Master Sword to hit you, like that first good hit on him, and then like I just got bodied by him, and that's like when I was like, uh-oh, was this a huge mistake?
Did you do that thing where you spin and then he bounces off the wall and hits you?
No, he just bodied me like right away. I was too close to him.
Okay. You just wanted to cuddle him.
Bugs need love too.
Yeah.
I don't know, do they?
Probably not, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it a little bit better in this case.
Okay, fair enough.
Swerb, unfortunately, you drop down to 2 and 4, which means your tournament time comes to an end. Is there anything you want to say coming out of this tournament? Anyone you want to thank?
I mean, thank Feasel and Dark Magician and you guys, obviously, everyone who commentated, everyone who did all the tracking behind the scenes, like everybody. Like, I said it like every time I've done like any sort of commentary or like after interview, that there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. So thank you to everybody involved.
We thank you for joining us for this tournament, and hope to see you again in the next one.
I'm sure I'll be there. And yeah, again, congratulations, Taylor, and good luck, dude. You better win the wild card now. I'm putting that on you.
That's gonna be a tough race, but I'll see what I can do. I'll try.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one, but I believe in you.
Yeah, well, thank you.
All right, let's give it up for both of these runners, SuperNinTaylor and Swerb. If you want to get more from these runners, watch more of their races, be sure to send them a follow and just thank them for giving us a good race this time. Thank you, SuperNinTaylor. Thank you, Swerb.
Yeah, thanks for commentating, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Glad to do it.
All right, we got more races going on right now on Speed Gaming 2 and Speed Gaming 3. So that's going to do it for us here on Speed Gaming. Slim, have a good time?
Oh yeah, that was very fun, very entertaining race to watch, especially at the end there. Yeah, it was a really, really good time, and I'm looking forward to watching more Randomizer, commenting over more Randomizer, playing more Randomizer. It's just, it never ends with Link to the Past Randomizer.
All right. Definitely was a fun race to watch. Enjoyed it. So thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you guys in the next race here on Speed Gaming. Be sure to follow Speed Gaming for more Link to the Past Randomizer and other various tournaments that are going on here. You can do ! schedule. We'll see you guys next time. Send us out of here, Slim.
Okay. Thank you for coming out to watch this Randomizer race with us, everybody. It was a lot of fun. A lot of Randomizer to come. A lot of Randomizer on the schedule as we head into the next stages of both tournaments. And yeah, continue to stay with us because there's going to be a lot of more entertaining races like this. Thank you to Adirondack Rick for commentating this race with me. Also, thank you to Buckshot Boo 24 for the tracking. Thanks to Feasel for the restream as always. And we will catch you guys later with more Randomizer coming up very, very soon. There's a lot going on for the next several months. You will not get tired of it.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.